want to say, you guys are doing a great thing. It's such an uncomfortable topic to talk about, especially for a guy, young guys in their early 20s. And, I'm glad that, I could tune in and, listen to you guys.
Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the broadcast. It's nice to be back on a Friday, late afternoon here on the West Coast, early evening on the East Coast, and late evening in other parts of the world, and early morning in some parts of the world.
Yeah. UK and Europe, it's 11 p.m. or 11:16, I should say. And our friends in New Zealand and Australia just getting up.
Well, listen, guys, welcome to the Hair Loss Show. This is The Bald Truth. Been doing the program for quite a long time, longer than most of you have lived in some iteration or another.
That's sad. Good night.
Yeah. And, I just want to tell all of my newer followers on Instagram, I am not holding back the cure for hair loss. I swear to you. I promise you. When you were complaining about why don't I provide the solutions, all I do is talk about what they're claiming is the negatives. What I'm trying to express to you people, I don't even know how this is not, there's got to be a language barrier with some of these people.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah. We could say that now. But what I'm trying to explain to everybody is, look, this is worldwide, I can't even count the billions. I have to find out exactly how many billions worldwide now with Turkey and India. But at least here in the U.S., it's about a $5 billion a year industry, the hair loss industry. 99% of all products and services that claim to stop, treat, prevent hair loss do not work. Everything, practically, that you see on your feeds through social media is bullshit. Don't shoot the messenger, people. What am I going to do? This is just the way that it is. So I think logic would dictate, at least my logic, that if you could help people avoid being ripped off, misled, wasting precious time that they will never get back when it comes to their hair loss journey, because once that hair is miniaturized for too long, it's done.
Mm-hmm. It ain't coming back.
And help them navigate through this treacherous hair transplant industry, that should be good enough for you mother effers.
No.
Like I should be getting Christmas cards from you and big thank yous.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Start a Patreon, whatever. But the number, the amount of the angry young balding guys and some women who somehow think they're like, this one guy writes after, he's like, you're the worst influencer on the internet. You don't tell us anything.
Well, it's funny because I remember a day when people would be, they'd catch something like some sort of catchphrase or some sort of tagline that would get them interested in learning about something and then actually sit down and read about it.
Yes.
Even if it was on the internet.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't always, the sole resource. But now, if they're not made aware of the problem described, and then the solution to the problem, all in a 1-minute reel, nay, a 30-second reel, then you let them down.
It's insane. Are you seeing us streaming? Because my thing is buffering for some reason.
Yeah, I believe so. Let me see. I gotta go here. I gotta go there. Click that. Yeah, we're streaming.
Not for me, man. Is my internet screwed up? What's going on, people?
Could be. I don't know. People in the chat room, let us know what's going on. Are you seeing us? I think you are. Like there's no new activity.
Because that was a good opening.
There was activity. That was a great opening. Let's see if anyone chimes in.
Let me.
Someone in the chat room, say hi. There we go. Yeah, Brian Martin, all good. Planet Warrior says all good here. I think it's a you thing.
It might be a me thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, what are you going to do?
I gotta say though, I enjoy the after effects of having a cold, or maybe the big C, because man, my voice sounds really good right now. I've got the best radio voice ever.
I just want to explain
to
to you
me.
that the big C is cancer. You don't want that, brother.
No.
I
The
know
big C
it's with the vid.
is not cancer.
But the big C is cancer.
Yeah, that's the old big C.
Oh, I see. Everything's changing.
That's Biden the early years big C. Now we're
Come over on fleek today, brother.
coming up on Trump's second term. The big C's changed.
Well, let me. I should announce it in this private group that I started, which I still don't even understand how it works. And guys, again, on Instagram, forgive me. I'm an old person. I didn't even know how this works half the time. I'm just putting up content and thinking, okay, well, this seems to be working. It seems like people like this type of content as opposed to me just sitting down and educating you. There's got to be some sort of, poppy stuff happening and jumping around. And can you imagine a 59-year-old man doing this?
No.
What am I going to do, though? Otherwise, these kids are going to be screwed.
Well, they're screwed anyway. Because there's so many people out there pushing.
It's unbelievable, really.
The rosemary oil, the castor oil, the derma stamping, derma rolling. What else? What's the latest thing, Spencer? What are the latest trends in hair loss prevention or restoration?
You see, I'm trying to get something done here, don't you?
No, I don't actually. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at the people, Spencer. It's not about you.
There's a lot of latest trends. One major interesting trend to me are these young kids who are just obsessively derma rolling and then adding minoxidil with SD alcohol on top of their abraded scalps. And there's this Indian kid, nice kid. I mean, I'm on his team. I'm on team, whatever his name is, Patel, whatever his last name is. I'm on your side, brother. I'm so glad that you're getting results. But trust me, you're getting results from using the FDA approved. Well, there's no compounded medication that's FDA approved, but the compounded medication that uses FDA approved medication. You may have had some initial growth from some of the derma rolling that could help kind of kickstart some growth. But consistent derma rolling is, in the long run, damages your scalp, period. That's just the way that it is. I didn't make this up. It doesn't benefit me at all to tell you guys that. So when you get upset saying that, well, what are you talking about, Mr. Spencer? I love when these kids call me Mr. Spencer. I'm using all FDA-approved products while he's bouncing around in his LED helmet, expressing himself. I'm just like, look, kiddo, I'm on your side. I promise. I'm not here to try to harm you or your followers in any way. You're getting good results. But it's not from derma rolling and then abrading your scalp and putting alcohol on it. Because eventually, the results that you've achieved will diminish, and you'll be going to wonder, what's happening? Why is the medication not working any longer? Mm-hmm. It could be your physiology no longer being capable to grow terminal hair after years of derma rolling.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I got nothing against you. You want to derma roll once a month? It makes you happy, great. If you need to derma roll at the beginning to see if you can start some growth because you read a few papers on the subject. Someone's knocking on my door. Papers on the subject? Trust me. I'm in the publishing game. I know how these papers get published. And to get a hair loss paper published by a kind of mid-range journal, it's not hard, people. These journals need content. That's just the way that it works. So if there's something sexy and you can get You want to get some peer reviewers? You're like, hey, listen, I know all the peer reviewers for this journal. Let me submit this to this journal. Call them, say, look, this is going to get a lot of eyeballs. It's definitely going to be aggregated through PubMed. It's going to get more eyeballs in your journal. You want to sell more journals, right? And they'll publish some like small clinical in quotes trial, some trial that was done in a doctor's office. And then every dermatologist who's trying to become an influencer will work off of that paper to get eyeballs to their Instagram accounts or TikTok accounts. Mm-hmm. And then it's a vicious cycle. But no one's talking to the hair transplant doctors who are like, what's going on when I try to open these kids' heads? And I can't place, I can't, their scalp is disintegrating when I'm trying to create recipient sites. Why is this happening? And then when you sit them down, you ask them, and they should have done this before the surgery, do you use topical minoxidil? Yeah. Do you abrade your scalp? Like a lot? And then use topical minoxidil? Yeah. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Of course we do.
And then they kind of put two and two together and realize, oh, well, we'll do our best with this guy.
Yeah. That's my favorite line that I hear from patients. The doctor said, yeah, we'll do our best.
Yeah.
Given the surprise that you presented on the morning of surgery, we'll do our best. Even though I know it's not the best idea, we'll give it a shot.
But my point is that in the real world, people are seeing these issues. And is anybody doing any studies or taking the time to publish papers on this? Not really. Why would they? There's no money in it for them. It's not going to actually benefit them in the long run. There may be a paper published here and there in like even more questionable journals like maybe like the Hair Transplant Forum International or something, some sort of an opinion piece. But you're not going to see it in PubMed. There's no ISSN numbers for these types of journals. So these kids just take this information and they look at it as gospel because somehow it was published. And again, you want a derma roll, good for you. I mean, you can do it for a little bit. It really could jumpstart some growth at the very beginning. But you don't want to abrade your scalp and then put SD alcohol on your scalp. You do it on days that you are not using minoxidil. Wait at least 2 or 3 days. And don't do it often. That's all I'm saying.
That's what it comes down to. But, even without the studies that they'd be doing anyway, because the bros on Instagram and TikTok are telling them to do it, they're just using these pseudo studies as validation.
Well, yeah, that's what the physicians are doing as well. Sadly, these TikTok docs, these board-certified dermatologists, and I use that term. I mean, they are board-certified dermatologists, but they're not hair loss experts. I can tell you this because there's no expert in this field who would suggest to any kid to do this to themselves. And frankly, I see this as one really big influencer, pretty Asian girl, like, I think she's Indian. She's got really great hair, and she does this to herself. Now, I don't know how often she's derma rolling, but she's putting minoxidil on or suggesting at least that people do this after derma rolling. She's a kid herself. She's 32 or 33. She has no clue. This wasn't something she'd learned in medical school or in her dermatology residency. This is something she read and learned about after the fact, or may have been approached by a derma rolling salesperson or whoever selling products to these doctors, read a paper and I'm going to try this myself to avoid any hair loss.
Yeah.
She has no idea what she's doing to her scalp. Dude, I was at a dermatologist's office. This is terrible. There's a woman, not too old, maybe in her 40s, significant female pattern hair loss. And she had all these point-of-purchase sales things for PRP and Nutrafol and everything that these dermatologists are selling for hair loss. And I'm just looking at this woman as she walks out to greet me. And after seeing all of this merchandise stuff in her office, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing here? This is for another
I'm in the
issue.
same room as the person that did this to themselves. What does it say about me?
Yeah, this is for another issue. I couldn't fly back to New York to see my dermatologist. I just want to get something checked out. And I'm thinking, if this person's willing to sell all this crap, in my opinion, to her patients who are suffering and struggling with hair loss, and she's unable to even help herself, what does that say for this specialty?
There is that. But that goes back to the same argument that some patients will have. Well, if my hair transplant doctor is bald, how can I trust him to make me not bald?
Different story, man.
I know, but I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm working with you, man. I'm working with you here.
You're working against me. That's the problem. That's what's been happening for 10 years.
Yes, I'm working against you. I'm actually part of the machine.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you though. I mean, back in the day, if there was a hair transplant surgeon who was trying to sell me some sort of a product that from a company that was acquired by a much larger company who is significantly bald. Forget about transplants. There's a lot of guys who just don't make, good transplant patients.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just sit down and say, listen, brother, have you tried this product yourself? I mean, at least to see if you can, increase your donor wreath and maybe become a candidate for hair transplant surgery? Something. Because if you haven't, don't sell this shit to me. And my hair's far from perfect. This is it's an exhausting sculpture that I have to deal with. But I did save a lot of hair taking medication. That's just the reality. That's my reality.
Mm-hmm.
Phone number is 888-659-3727. So I speak from a position of, of authority in that manner, and obviously from everything that I've known about this industry throughout the years and all the patients who have been helped by these meds and not helped by all the nonsense out there. I love when these young kids are like goofing on my hairline. I'm like, brother, I've been balding for 40 years. Do you have any idea what a mess you're going to be by the time you're my age?
Especially following the routines that you're following.
Yeah. You may even have a walker.
They are.
Yeah. I could be your grandfather.
Could have dementia. Could have mercury poisoning by the time you're my age.
I mean, God almighty. All right,
Well,
guys.
at the very least, a low IQ because of fluoride. What?
You know what's great is like there was no fluoride in the water when I was growing up. It started when we were kids.
Yeah. I remember that.
But by then, all my teeth were filled anyway, so it didn't matter. Because that's what they did to us back then.
Yeah.
They just filled us with mercury, whether we needed it or not.
Well, it looks like a cavity might develop there in a few years. Let's just go ahead and preemptively fill it with mercury.
I used to get back from the dentist. My father was like, what are you doing? I mean, don't you take care of your teeth? I'm like, yeah, I brush my teeth every, twice a day like I'm supposed to. I don't know. Apparently I was prone to cavities. Meanwhile, this dentist should have been like under some sort of investigation. Let's take a phone call.
Too easy.
You're very talkative today, Joe. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Spencer. I'm not going to do the Joe from Staten Island today.
Oh, thank God.
Took a jog.
What's happening, brother?
You could have told me years ago I could stop doing that. I'm sure he might want me to stop. You think he's still listening?
I think, every once in a while he'll call in again. But
Sometimes.
I think he's still listening. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, what's up, man? Joe, how you doing?
Not much, man.
Joe,
I'm good. How are you?
He's not asking about
Both
you.
Joes.
He's asking for Joe from Staten Island.
Well,
Don't
he got me.
Spencer. You know how I hate that.
No, I was saying hi to both Joes, really. No, how you doing, Joe? I haven't talked to you in a while either.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Hanging in there. Saw that Mike Tyson fight was the biggest ripoff of all time, and they say, "Oh, it didn't cost you anything." It's like, yeah, it cost me my life.
Yeah, we're never going to get that time back, are we?
It cost me time. It cost me time.
Yeah. Netflix isn't free, and it's so unnerving to watch something like that. And that kid, oh my God, I told you this a long time ago. The haircuts that these kids are wearing these days, I directly attribute it to Jake and Logan Paul, because both of them are losing their hair, and they've been influencers for so long that these kids grew up with them. And as they started to lose their hair, they started to do that top ramen comb over.
Dude, the comb over is back, brother, and I've been waiting for that for a long time.
I love the top ramen reference. That's good. That's good. No,
Dude,
I was watching that fight, and I was concerned. I kept thinking that Tyson was losing his mind, and then I realized, wait a minute, these little jabs that are way too short and not enough distance to even connect if he was trying it, and the fake half hooks. I realized something was up. That wasn't a real fight. Just to reference your original comment, that wasn't a real fight. That was fixed.
None of these fights are really. The only real fight he took was the one he lost, and that was a pseudo boxer, I think. I can't remember his name, but you can even see them during the actual fight, like they had an agreement. You could just see it in their posturing. And the one time where right in the first round or second round, Jake Paul missed a punch, and then Mike had that classic duck and roll and then come around the side, and Jake freaked out. He thought he's going to fucking knock me out in front of everybody. And he kind of did this pose that I haven't seen an actual real, professional boxer ever do, where they kind of cower in fetal position standing up. And it was ridiculous. Then he said at the end of the fight, he goes, "I got your money." And it's he made that one, apparent for everybody to see, but it's just he wanted to let him know, look, I know this is embarrassing for you and everything. Don't kill me right here in front of everybody. I have your money. You did a good job. It's so ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Well, listen, this guy's an incredible promoter. He owns it all, which is amazing. And, I will give him credit for bringing boxing back to a place that was, at least for a while, was exciting. I mean, everyone was excited about this fight. So they brought, some excitement back. And they also gave the undercard fighters an opportunity to kind of be seen by a huge audience.
Yeah, those
best
girls
fight
really
was
ass.
That was the best fight of the night. Were the two girls that they?
Yeah, it brought me back to Rocky, dude.
Absolutely.
And
4K,
I've never. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if Rosie Perez would be my top choice to call the fight, but the ring girls were fantastic. Really brought back.
Don't talk like that, Spencer. I'm a very good broadcaster.
she all of a sudden she turned Chinese. What's going on?
That's how she talks. Oh, Billy. You ever seen White Man Can Jump?
Of course.
Oh,
yes.
What is a queen?
I grew up in New York with a lot of chicks that spoke like that. A lot of Puerto
I
Rican
didn't even
chicks.
know it was Rosie Perez until later on. I kept hearing her, and I thought, who is this woman that's commenting? She doesn't. It doesn't sound familiar, and why is she here? Because she's not getting it right. And then
why was Cedric the Entertainer there? Why did he have it?
First of all, that was when I saw that before I saw Rosie Perez. I was like, they have Cedric the Entertainer doing color commentating. That's incredible. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, he didn't do much work. Yeah. I mean, they didn't seem to give a lot of opportunity for him to spepe.
It was like his stand up. It's not much going on there. I mean, I couldn't understand why they had their ensemble. I mean, I really, they should have put a whatchamacallit on it. What's that guy? The other guy from the Kings of Comedy, Steve Harvey, so we can at least have some bald analysis on there.
That'd be fun.
The one thing I give credit for Jake Paul and Logan Paul for doing is they haven't done hair transplants, and that should go out to all you young kids who are looking out Turkey and all this stuff. Is some of these guys with a lot of money know that they're not candidates, and who knows? Maybe he'll get one next year, but they shouldn't. We all know they're not.
The rumor is, and I'm not sure if this is the case, that Logan may have had at least one surgery that he's currently hiding pretty well. So I'm not sure at all if that's. I have no inside information on that. That's just a rumor.
But one of their posse guys, who's got his own YouTube channel, he made a big deal out of going to a clinic in Turkey, and it was one of these super low budget, bottom of the dregs clinics where they gave him the red carpet treatment and the whole 9 yards. And I haven't bothered to look at his results since, but I just knew it was a matter of time for one of the Logan brothers to have their own. And yeah, I mean, rumor is that was it Jake may have had one. I don't know.
Not Jake, a Logan.
A Logan. Okay, Logan.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Jake had said that publicly that he was going to go to Turkey after the last fight that he had. The guy called him out on his hairline. I just hope that he doesn't. He's definitely not a candidate. It's funny. There's a young guy who is very well known on YouTube. I'm not going to mention his name because you ended up getting the transplant. Who essentially, the hand of God came down and saved him from getting his transplant initially. He had an allergic reaction to either the anesthetic or possibly the pre-anesthetic. I don't know if it was Valium or Klonopin or whatever they gave him. And I'm not exactly sure what he was allergic to, but he had an allergic reaction where he was unable to follow through with the surgery. He had his head shaved and everything. Came back, talked about it, and I wrote, like, dude, you were just saved. He was like 22 years old. And then a well-known physician, he's well-known based on his internet presence. He's not really well-known in the field yet. I mean, he's young still. He's only been practicing on his own for like 5 years or something. Decided to do a collab type of situation and perform surgery on this kid in his early 20s. This kid had just regained his hair from using finasteride and minoxidil, and he did a really good job. It's great, but we still don't know how long that's going to last. We don't know if it's going to grow to, a really full terminal hair cycle. Sometimes when these guys get this growth spurt, especially the young guys, and they may be doing well on finasteride, but they're also using minoxidil. So the minoxidil starts to wear off, and all of a sudden this hair is miniaturizing again, or just falls out. So what could happen to this kid, he's just going to be stuck with this relatively small transplant procedure. And it was kind of, in my view, it was done prematurely. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm getting so jaded on just all transplants. And I mean, I'm like you. Like, I don't think I'd ever do one if I went that far, just because. And I know, Joe, I'm not saying anything against you. You have an amazing outcome, but you went through hell to get there. And I don't know what your current situation is. Not a lot of people have the.
Yeah, I'm currently
He's in hell for other reasons. No, listen.
You mean the hair?
I want to be clear. And this is the truth, and it has nothing to do with my organization. I mean, I'm in a stage of my life where none of that matters anymore. I believe that a good, well-executed hair transplant for the right patient is life-changing. I mean, I've seen some turnarounds in people's lives,
but it's
and they're
temporary. It's temporary.
Not if you're 40.
That's my problem.
Not if you're 40. There's a good chance you're going to die with that.
Yeah, you're going to die with that, but you're still going to bald. Most people, I'm not a pro like you guys are, but
you're not?
I want to say, I don't think so. I just have no positive outlook for the diffusing and the receding hairline, and you just get that little tidal wave. And I always tell my friends, I said, you have a front lawn that is losing all its grass, and you're just trying to fill all that area up with the sides of the lawn on your house, a little strip that you walk to your backyard.
Joe's listening. He's right here. Good. He can hear you.
Joe's in hell already, you said. I can't make it any worse. I can only empathize with him. No, but I mean, listen, I'm not saying you can't have a good you're welcome. I'm not saying you can't have a good outcome. I'm just saying I can't see the light from where I'm at, or where anybody I know, any of my friends talking about it. I'm saying, don't do it, bro. You're just going to put scars on your head. You might have there's a lot more negatives that could come of it than the one positive you're looking for. And all these kids that are writing these disparaging comments on your Instagram, it's like, wake up, kids. Just because you want the hairline and you want to believe that this technology is exactly going to give you what you're looking for the rest of your life, you should be looking at it from a different point of view. How effed up would I feel if I spent all this money and had an infection, or even if the best case scenario, however much hair was transplanted, like the 50, 60, 70% that remains is going to be enough for the rest of your life. It's minimal, chance of that happening. And I
well, here's the thing.
I know.
I want to explain to them that this may not be a lifelong situation. Well, it's going to be a lifelong situation as far as continuing to have more surgeries. And I do believe, and I'm not just saying this. I mean, you know how I feel about it. I tell the truth about transplants. This is my job. But for the right candidate, executed well, is doing well on medication, meaning has done well for over a couple of years on medication, is in a certain point in their life where you have to understand that every anagen phase you're able to keep, that gives you 4, 5, 6 years of hair on your head. So if you're doing well on finasteride, for instance, and say that does well for you for, a decade or 2 decades, and then you maybe add oral minoxidil to keep your hair in anagen phase for a couple of more years, which can actually last, 2 or 3 anagen phases. And if you have a transplant that's well executed and the donor area is really preserved and just well monitored, you just have to know you're in this game for the long haul, but you can be a person who looks like they have a full head of hair for many decades if this is well planned out. The problem is no one, for the most part, none of these young guys at least, they don't understand this. And the physicians who are willing to treat
enough.
Yeah, and the physicians willing to treat them overseas and here in the U.S. are like, fuck it, whatever. These kids don't know any better. They'll come back. I'll treat them a couple more times, and then we'll just they'll just eventually disappear into their own misery.
The surgeons probably don't care about this generation. I know I don't. I go to Chick-fil-A and Chipotle and all these places every once in a while, and they just look at you with a dead face like you're the enemy. Like, I've got to serve you. There's no politeness in them. The way they talk to you online when you're just there to help them, you haven't asked them for a single dollar. You're just telling them things that they don't like to hear. You can't just be educated. You got to be realistic with what you have and not just
I get into an elevator I get into an elevator with a kid who's like 24 years old. There's no hellos. There's no what floor. It's just on their phone. And sometimes they're even talking to somebody on their phone. And I'm like, how do these kids get along in this world? Now, there's a subset of young people who are kicking ass in this world. They get it. They understand how to become influencers. They develop these incredible online businesses. I'm seeing a lot more wealthy young people than I've ever seen before. It's still a very small percentage. But with that said, the disparity She'll help me. Disparity between these wealthy young kids and these kids who are like totally lost, can't get out of their parents' house, will never be able to earn a living. It's huge. I've never seen. There's so many kids struggling now. They can't even put 2 sentences together. They can't look at you in the eye.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine them writing a letter. Did you ever see these letters that are written by like these kids in the Civil War who are like 16, 17 years old?
Oh, yeah. They're like Shakespeare.
Yeah. Can you imagine a kid today writing their parents from anywhere?
The woes of war have left me weary, but my heart still longs for you.
Exactly. Dearest father.
Dude, do you know that if you text a young person, they can tell you're old by the way you text because they don't use grammar or punctuation?
Yes, I've learned that. Yeah.
If you put a period, it means you're mad. And I got to walk one thing back. I want to walk one thing back. I said Chick-fil-A, but I want to walk that back. Chick-fil-A is the only place out there that's actually training the youth to be polite. They have to say, my pleasure, thank you, you're welcome. They smile. Like, they drill it. I meant to say Chipotle, but Chick-fil-A is the only one actually drilling proper mannerisms and hospitality to these kids. But like, you know how like we grew up and we had like, TV shows like Cheers and stuff, and there was always a disgruntled customer, and there was always comedy like, oh, we have to deal with this piece of shit. Well, it's like these kids watched some of that stuff and grew up and started thinking that that's it. We're all pieces of shit that come into the facility or whatever, the establishment to order a burrito. and they have to deal with us. You know, and it's ridiculous. And then dude, I walked into a Chipotle, and I goes, no one's in front of me. I beeline straight. There's a guy, like, I don't know, he's folding tortilla or something. He's looking at the tortilla, looks up at me, makes eye contact, looks down, folds, looks back up, and I'm not lying. It was like a Mexican standoff. It was like two gunslingers. We're just staring at each other, and he's folding as he's staring. And then I look at him. I'm like, I'm going to keep this up as long as I take. And then he just kind of like nods his head, and I go, do you want me to order? And he goes, he shrugs his shoulders like, if you want. And I was like, look, man, I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know why you're doing it, but if you're not happy here, you need to go somewhere else. I go, I'm a polite person. I'm not going to interrupt you if you have something going on. But you should say hello at least. You know?
How may I help you, sir?
You want to? Yeah, his response was, do you want a bowl or a burrito?
I mean, that's why I love strip clubs, because they're right there, willing to help right away. These are young people.
Yeah.
That's customer service.
That's customer service.
That's the snake oil salesmen that are out there. You know, I send you stuff. You know, I send you stuff. Like, some of it's frivolous shit. But
and by the way, I wasn't ignoring you today. I didn't have time to react. Like, I got to react to everything. Thumbs up. Jesus Christ.
Spencer, you don't have to. Spencer, you don't have to react to me. I'll send it regardless.
Not even a thumbs up?
Coming no matter what.
Yeah.
So sometimes I send them stuff that's like, I think it's good for a show. It's like a commercial, like make fun of someone bald. Like, there's this new one where this guy's got like a Bozo the Clown, like bald comb over to the side, and they're making fun of him, like losing stuff, but it has nothing to do with hair loss. They're just making fun of balding. And but like, these kids are so mad at Spencer. Some of them are like, "Oh, look at you talking, blah blah blah, with your hairline." It's like, what do you think, because of what you see? Like, they want you to look like a Ken Barbie doll to be able to speak about hair loss, which is the last person.
Wait a second. What are you saying exactly? Yep. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I was reading one of your.
Listen, like I said at the beginning of the show, I've been balding for 40 years. I don't think they've met too many 59-year-old men who have been balding for 40 years that have been able to save as much hair as me. They don't exist. So it's like, kids, wake up. Do you know what you're going to look like at 59, especially since you're balding at 18? You're fucked.
You ain't going to look like Spencer.
Just deal with it. Accept it. And I send them over to Harry at Bald Cafe. That's what I did.
That's right.
But the other analogy I was going to make is, like, you're like say we're in war. You're like the guy with the tattered fatigues. You know, you got the clips taped to your helmet. You got some bullet wounds around, but you're alive. And they want to learn how to fight a war from someone who just fell off the plane and is pressed clean and shaking his boots. Like, they're, in other words, what I'm trying to say is, you've been through it.
Yeah.
But because you don't look and sound like what they want to hear, they don't want to listen to you. They want to listen to the liar or the person with less experience or less knowledge.
Dude, I'm the Tom Berenger in Platoon. That's who I am. I'm the guy with the scars.
No one knows who that is.
I was going to make another reference to no one. Once We're Soldiers, where Mel Gibson's getting off the field last. He's like the last foot to come off the field.
Yeah. That's me.
Good.
I told my friend, I said, this guy could make so much money if he sold out, and he's going to sell out when he retires. That's how you know he's going to.
I'm going to tell everybody. All of a sudden, you're going to see, like, I'm going to have like a step and repeat with like Bosley and, you know, Nutrafol and everything behind me. And I'm just going to be like,
your own bullshit.
I'm just going to be like, later, losers.
It's going to be this reverse psychology where it actually works to his benefit.
Oh, well.
I'm selling out.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm selling out, and I just want the money now.
Yeah.
So buy it if you want. And people are like, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll have some of that.
And people will buy it.
Click.
Yeah, they would make a bald cap with like disco balls that spin around on the inside. And this is how you
know,
grow
when
hair.
I think of the derma rolling shit, do you understand, like, if I decide to work with the company, and it could be a medical grade derma roller, something that actually you'd have to get it through a prescription. Slap the American Hair Loss Association seal on it. They could license that from me. I would sell millions. This is not hyperbole, millions of derma rollers. What's in it for me to tell these guys the truth? Joe's thinking. He's like, hair transplant mentor, derma rollers.
Exactly.
I'm thinking. I am thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, so have you guys seen Colin Farrell's Penguin?
Of course.
I've seen pictures.
Okay.
I haven't watched the flick.
Yeah, it's
Sunday
just
nights,
kind of
I will
proof
get
positive.
ripped and order Domino's and just watch that. It's the best.
It's so good. It's so good. But like the balding, like it's kind of. I was thinking about the other day because I don't know. He's such a cool character, and he's despicable, and he's ugly, but he's cool.
Yeah.
Like it just is proof positive that work on your intelligence and your personality, and you can shine through other things. Whether you're overweight, ugly, big nose, and balding like the Penguin, he's still a cool guy. Even though he's fake, that could be a persona. Not that you have to be that, but I'm just saying, work on some sort of personality of your own instead of letting your insecurities rule over you. And Jason Statham is another one, but he's
I don't
attractive.
know if I would consider Colin Farrell's character, that Penguin character, a cool guy. I would consider him
He's a weasel. He's a little bit of a
he's
weasel.
a real weasel.
But he's like a combination of things. He's a little bit of Sopranos, a little bit of Scarface, a little bit of a conniving weasel, but he's smart and cunning, and he's ruthless.
And he's ruthless, but there's also a sense of that character that you get a little feelings for the guy. You kind of understand what happened to him.
Yeah, empathy. Yeah,
there is empathy for sure.
Well,
that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. But then you start to get the empathy, and then you see what happened with his brothers, and you're like, what the f?
Yeah,
pull the Tillman
because he needs to fill that hole. But that's just it. When he's with the strippers, and then when he's with that I forget his little sidekick boy, he's like he makes you believe that there's he has a code of honor. There was even actually a little bit of dialogue where he goes, "I do have a code," but it's like he makes you believe in him. But my only point is this: it's a fake show, it's a fake character, it's even a fake hairline. But the idea is that you can still be in some way appealing to people. Because to me, the guy, I mean, he's not my hero, but he's just captivating. I want to. If that guy was real, I want to get to know him. I want to be around him. I wouldn't want to do business with him. But I mean, it's just. I was just thinking about that the other day. It's like Colin Farrell, Jude Law. I don't know. Name some other balding. Henry Cavill's balding. I think he's pretty okay with it because he lets it show.
Well, Colin Farrell's character's balding. I mean, Colin Farrell's still, he's lost some hair, but he still has a pretty significant amount of hair for a guy's age.
Yeah.
I'd seen him not too long ago. Actually, it was a long time ago. It was about 8 years ago in person. Saw him twice. And he's like a little dude. He's kind of like a little diminutive. I was like, I guess all these actors are. But his hairline, while I started to see a change, I was like, Jesus, this guy, and he smokes. I'm just like, this guy was just blessed, man. And when he walks in, all you see are his eyebrows and his hairline. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he has those big caterpillar hairline.
Yeah.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. But listen, brother, we're going to take some more calls.
All right.
But, I'm blowing you off right now. Can you tell?
But thanks for getting us started.
Yeah.
No, dude, come on.
Hey, Joe, help me out here.
Hey, you walked into it, man. You walked into it. You created this.
Dude, who do you think's texting me to give you the axe?
All right, man. I'll let you guys go. When you back on Instagram?
He ever shut up? Oh my God.
Like an Instagram Live?
Yeah. Do you still do that? Or?
I haven't done it in a while. I haven't been in the mood. But maybe I'll do. I'm not going to promise I'll do one later, but maybe I'll see how I feel. Or next week.
Spencer, just be honest. You blocked him. He can't see it. You're on every day.
Not true.
Stop
I'm going to create a new character for your show.
All right, brother.
Spencer, hello. You've been blocking me again. You can't block me from your show.
Dude, it sounds like there's a lot of real characters like that who've
Yeah,
over the
they're out
years
there
to
like
deal
that.
with.
I bet you met them all. All right, guys, go
All right,
to the
brother.
next one.
Good talking to you. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, good talking
Thanks
to
for the
you.
call.
Bye.
I forget what to call him now because he didn't do the Not Joe from Staten Island.
Exactly.
Guys, the phone number is 888-659-3727. I do think he insulted my hair, though. But whatever. I'm going to let that go.
No, I think he was repeating what's being said online.
I know. I was just trying
by
to make
these
him,
young
I know,
kids.
I get it. I was just trying to make him feel bad for a second.
But behind the scenes, he is.
Yeah, like everybody else. Guys, the phone number is 888-659-3727. This is a live call-in show. We're also here to answer your questions. But if a longtime listener wants to call into bullshit a little bit, we're going to talk because that's what we're here for. And you know what? It's good practice for our chops.
Good practice.
Yeah. You know?
What's going on here?
I'm still waiting for to be called up to the big leagues. I was in the big leagues for a long time, and I was brought down back down to the minors. That was self-inflicted. But, you know.
At least you acknowledge that.
Yeah.
You're not blaming anyone.
No, it's totally self-inflicted. I just said I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe I'll throw some stuff up online.
Leagues?
Yeah, it could have been. But you know, but I have to make that happen again. I think like I said, I want to round out my career with a bang. Like bookend that with like a holy shit.
What, did that have something to do with the idea you talked about where you're running down the middle of the street naked with the camera? I was that what you're talking about?
In the hand grenades? No.
Yeah. Okay. All right, good. All right. Gotcha.
All right, Joe, I'm going to let you take over.
What do you mean?
You'll see.
You said we had a caller. Don't we have a caller? See? All right. So I don't know why he's doing this to me. He said he had the call or a caller was coming in. But anyway, so let's take the time and we will answer questions from the chat. What we got going on here? Because I saw there's actually a question I saw in there. Trump will fix baldness. No, he won't. Okay, Planet Warrior said something. I saw Stallion. I saw Stallone in New York City recently, and he's got some weird hair. Well, he's had a hairline lowering procedure, where his old hairline was actually physically brought down. It was pulled down. He had a brow lift, is what they call it. I think he had other work. I know he had other work.
I know the physician was working with him and his brother for a while. He's an old timer. And, guys, the phones were just lit. We'll take your calls. I have a feeling these are the Instagram kids. They have no patience.
Could be. Yeah, they don't have,
888-659-3727. We'll take your calls now if you call in. Otherwise, I'm getting out of here.
Otherwise, we're done.
Listen, I definitely think, and listen, who am I to say anything? He's happy with the procedure. He's got hair in his head. This is what he wants. But, yeah, it's a very, it's kind of like the new normal of what these young kids are getting. It's that super low, bizarre, like Wolfman type of a hairline, which can work if you have the right features and you're genetically predisposed to that.
Like every time I see him, I see what's going on, and just it doesn't bother me like it used to when I'd see it on some people. And for him,
it's okay. He's also old.
I can't say it's terrible. Like it's everything came together to where it actually kind of works for him.
He still looks great.
Yeah, it would look ridiculous on most people, but for some reason he got away with it.
I mean, it's what Rob Hellner wants me to get. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Spencer. It's Mike in NYC. How are you?
Hey, Mike. What's going on, brother?
Why does everyone talk to you and not... I'm sitting here, too. You say hi, Spencer. Hi,
How are
I'm
you,
over
Joe?
here. I'm good, Mike. How are you, my friend? Just giving you some
Good,
shit.
thanks.
It kind of reminds you of when we went to the bars that time, right, Joe?
Yeah, but they were talking to me. Yeah, I remember you were complaining about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you have
Anyway, thank
I
you.
wanted to
What's going on, Mike?
tell you that I wanted to tell Spencer first of all. I really been enjoying some of your Instagram reels. I guess is what they are. It's a little, it's good
They
to
are
see you
great.
out there.
Oh, thank you,
I'm
brother.
so used to seeing you
He's
behind the
killing it.
desk. So
Yeah, I have legs, thank God.
yeah. So
That's
like
right.
see
It's
more
weird to
of
see you walking around.
People mention that. I think Graham from our friend Graham from is he from Melbourne too? Where is he from?
Yeah.
Yeah. He mentioned that he'd never seen my legs before. I have them. Thank God. Go ahead. Sorry.
Good to know. Good to see. Just to go back to what was, I think, the first week of August when I called you guys, and I was in a 6-month post-op panic mode, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And that point where it looked like it was going to go maybe one way or the other way. So I'm back to report 3.5 months later that things have progressed nicely.
That's great.
So
Good.
there's definitely, I was definitely ready to jump off the way, wherever was in a bad headspace there, but everything's filled in pretty nicely. And at this point now, which is about 10 months post second surgery, I'm loving it. I'm thrilled. Everything is great. And it's basically, for the most part, since the second surgery was focused on the crown, I pretty much have a full head of hair, quote unquote. Obviously, it's very thin and whatnot, but it's just been incredible sometimes to just experience it. Everything has seemed to go on that right trajectory. It's still, again, like very, very thin. And the big thing with me, obviously, is not being on finasteride. So the bad news of it all is, as thrilled as I am right now and over the moon, and I've had some incredible hair days, there's still it is unfortunate knowing that, because I don't know if you remember how in a bad of a spot I was 3.5 months ago, but it just brought me back to that time where I was really upset and worried about my hair. And I feel like, that's something I have to kind of, and I guess that's the question I have for you today. Is it okay to enjoy this and also have reservations and worries about what the future might hold? Or, how do you think I should handle that? Because obviously there is a day where I know that day might come and where I have to go in for that third and final surgery. And obviously I only have one more left in the bank with about 2,000 grafts max and that. But it's a shame. Like I spent all this money and all this time, and I'm super happy right now. But the reality is this is probably going to be short lived, which is
here's our reality. We're all slowly dying. Some of us are dying faster than others. We don't know. You don't know if you're ever going to make it to the point where you need another hair transplant. You could drop dead. You could be diagnosed with an incurable, disease. So I'm not saying it's easy not to obsess and think about the future, but you would be a lot better off if you could figure out a way to be zen with this and be like, you know what? You wake up today and you're like, all right, I'm good. Today is going to be a good day. And then you do that day. You get through that day. And you enjoy your life. And then the next day you wake up and you're like, I got another day. That's pretty good. That's how you got to live, man. That's how I am with my morning wood. I'm like, Jesus, it's still working.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
But it is a little different, much different case for somebody that's so many people, so many of these guys are on finasteride, and that's just, it's always been a little tougher pill for me to swallow, knowing that,
Dude, but you loop right back to the negative. I can't change that. Right back. It's
exactly.
Like, instead of being just like, you know what, I'm going to try to do that, and it's just like, yeah, that's true, that makes sense. But you know what, this is what else sucks.
It's such a terrible place, though, that you have to really. I know there's no point of venting about it, right? Because nothing is going to change what could be, right? So I hear you where you're trying to go.
Look, I just got a haircut. I got a haircut yesterday. I'm like, look, I have to tell the guy to keep cutting it shorter in the back because I have some retrograde. It's thinner. And when I did my hair today, I happened to look at it. I'm like, I got to kind of push it a little bit. Otherwise, it kind of looks a little stringy. That wasn't the way it was just a couple of years ago. It was pretty full back then. And it's just like, all right, so what's going to happen to me? Well, I can enjoy the fact that I'm 59 years old and still have enough hair to comb and somehow, put together this sculpture and walk outside and still feel, all right, I look pretty good and enjoy that. Or I can worry about what I'm going to look like at 62.
Mm-hmm.
But you are on finasteride, which is really helped and strengthened your hair for so many years.
Again,
the point.
You're right. I've been I've been balding for 40 years, though. This is slowly getting worse. I'm getting worse. As we speak, everything is falling apart to some degree. I'm trying to ward that off by exercising and eating right and, spending time with younger people. But all legal, of course, Joe.
You dress well, by the way, I think,
I what?
I think you have, you know how to dress, it seems, too. You have that going for you.
Oh, I don't know. You could thank Amazon Essentials for that, brother.
Costco.
Yeah. I think it's really more how the clothes lay on your body. It's really about what you do to your body, and you pick clothes that flatter you, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I could wear a T-shirt on the air, but I feel like I look like a doofus. Like, old guys that have a little bit of muscle that wear T-shirts, I just feel they look like idiots. I don't know what, you could wear one like in the summer with shorts or whatever it is, but all of a sudden you're like Simon Cowell.
Ooh, no.
You know what I mean?
God.
No.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work out.
He looked normal until he did the face work. Like he could.
Well,
he could
but
pull
from
it
the
off.
waist down, he
like
didn't because he wore these UK guys. I have to say, nothing wrong. I love everybody in Great Britain. I love the UK guys, but there's something about you guys wear like yellow T-shirts and shit, like tight, polo shirts and T-shirts. I don't understand that look.
Tucked into their shorts, lifted up.
It's weird with their joggers. They call them joggers, I think they're called. Anyway, I mean, who am I to talk? No, I appreciate the compliment, though, brother. I just went off on a tangent.
Yeah, So look, I just and to go back to positivity. In the moment, I'm over the moon. I just beyond thankful. Sometimes can't even believe it. That years ago I was basically broken. And it was just I'm very fortunate in that sense. I know that for sure. I mean, it's really I can go on forever, but I'll keep it very short. But some days just amazing hair days, and it's the confident. I've had people compliment my hair, multiple people, even before the second surgery, even after just the first, when I had my hair, my face framed again. That's just something that never in a million years came close to happening beforehand. So it just goes to show how much of an impact that has on somebody's appearance,
And it's interesting, I think, when people say, well, there's no, if I'm talking about the reality of hair transplants, some of these kids are like, well, what are you're anti-hair transplant? I'm not anti-hair transplant. I think they are life-changing, but it has to be someone like you who gets a good result and people who also understand the entire scope and possible pitfalls and not do it too young. And, while you're not on finasteride, you're still in a position where, you made the right choices for your surgery. Yeah. So, I mean, I know what it does for people. I look at Joe, who, if you saw him in person, I actually think his hair looks even better in person. I mean, it looks totally like you cannot tell it's a hair transplant. I mean, maybe you have one or two exclamation points if I'm staring at it when I'm drunk, but that's it. Otherwise, it's like from a social distance, you can't see shit.
Yeah, and
with enough drinking, you can't see shit either because your eyes get blurry. But that happy medium in between.
No, but when I first met him and he was like almost picking at my hair with like he was like a little chimp looking at stuff. I was like, this guy, and actually Specs too. I was pretty impressed with his head of hair, and these are both transplanted heads of hair. So I know what a great hair transplant looks like. Sadly, most of the work being done today sucks.
Yeah,
it's true. But big shout out to Bruno, Dr. Bruno Ferreira, who just says that the hairline is incredible. Where I mean, unless maybe you guys who are experts, nobody ever would be able to tell what's going on.
I think that's great.
It's a nice feeling. One more question for both of you, if you have a second. So,
guys, hold on. We'll take your calls right after this question. Go ahead.
One thing I noticed about, as far as styling, doing my hair, which is obviously very thin still, after I get out of the shower and go to work, it's still not super nice. And I don't know if you're familiar with, like, as far as it takes a long while, hours for like the natural oils to come back into someone's hair, right? And it just seems like later in the day, my hair gets 10 times nicer and 10 times easier to manage and slicker to comb through.
What do you use? Do you use any product in your hair?
I use a little bit of hairspray to kind of thicken it up, and then when I get it the way I want it to be, as far as the style, I throw some pomade into it, and then it's just a little. I don't know how to describe it, but it like I'll run a comb through it, obviously, and then it'll look okay. Mm-hmm. But then later in the day, it's just been the case for a long time now, when the natural oils come back and do it. Like you've heard of what second day hair is, right?
I have, but for me, second day hair, I look like Ed Grimley. But anyway, go ahead. I don't know if you know what that reference is.
I just it's just something that I've observed.
Is it Ed Grimley, Joe? From Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It totally is, I must say.
That's him, yeah.
I mean, Joe, is that something that you've ever experienced? Like when you could, like your hair now looks pretty good there. Like, is that something that you just got out of the shower with? Like, although I know some weeks I've noticed, Joe, like your hair looks a little more like fuller. Maybe, I don't know. Like you always do your hair.
What are you trying to say, Mike? You saying I'm losing my hair? What are you trying to say? What do you mean?
Completely. I'm jealous of your hair every week, but
no.
I don't know.
Look, I mean,
Joe, most of our callers are on the spectrum to some degree, right? So relax.
Of course, and so are we. No, I have had bad hair days and good hair days, just like everyone else. And I mentioned on the show recently that I've been having a succession of bad hair days where it feels thinner. Always disturbing. It doesn't happen very often when it's like this, but it's funny you brought it up today, because today after I styled my hair, I was like, I'm finally having a good hair day again. And
so what is that?
You just crushed him with that comment.
Well, I changed how I was. I changed my routine. I've been changing my routine when I style my hair. Almost every 2 or 3 days for the past several months, I bounce back and forth between approaches. But today I didn't put anything in it. I just, I combed it, let it dry, set just a little bit for about a couple minutes, and then I blew dry it, sprayed it, and it's like, okay, this is fine. I'm good with this. By tonight, it'll be a bit flatter, just because of gravity. But it doesn't really. It used to get, like you say, second day, or whatever you said, where it's like there's more oils and stuff coming.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it used to be like that, but it's more like bedhead for me now. Like the next morning, that's when I experience that, and it's and it doesn't do me any good or bad or good, because I'm it's 6 o'clock in the morning and no one's seeing me anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it used to be an issue, especially when I was younger, but the past several years it doesn't affect me like that. My hair does look different several hours later, but that's just natural. Like, I don't have a lot of product in it. I don't, I'll put some heavy hold hairspray on it just to hold it in place. But even then, after that, 7 or 8 hours, it's a bit flatter.
My hair hasn't moved since 1987. Once it's set, that's it.
Yeah, helmet head.
That's it.
And that's also the nature of what we're dealing with. Where it just reinforces the fact that this is an illusion of density.
Oh, well, absolutely. With that, yes, I know. Yeah.
Because if you have more density with this volume that you see, or if I had more density with the volume that you see, then that would be less of an issue. It wouldn't be so flat over the course of the day, and it's not detrimental. Like, it doesn't bother me at all, and I barely notice it. But that's part of the issue with hair restoration on guys that have a lot of hair loss, where it is an illusion of density. It's not an illusion of coverage. And it's funny, I was thinking about this earlier in the show because something else triggered this thought. I remember arguing with Dr. Cole about this before he and I ever worked together, where he would argue with me that it's not an illusion of density. It is density. But no, it's an illusion of density created by actual coverage. No, sorry. He was saying it's an illusion of coverage. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You can see coverage.
That's the right word. Right.
And the coverage creates the impression of density that doesn't exist. Right? So that's the illusion. Right. And that's what I have going on. It's what you have going on. And you know what? To the rest of the world, they don't even notice. You're hyper aware of it. I'm hyper aware of it because it's an issue that we deal with on a personal level.
How dare you argue with the Cole Brain Trust?
You're describing the flatness, and I see that in my hair, and it is a little odd looking. But
sorry.
But when you're describing the flatness and all that, you could then when you run a comb through it again, you can kind of volumize it, so to speak, and fluff it up, right? I mean, obviously, but then it flattens out again because there's obviously, as we spoke about, just there's really no density there. But that's why sometimes during the day I'll go and give my hair a quick comb again to bring it back to life a little bit,
Yeah, but with me, it does come into that effect that you're talking about with the natural oils kind of weighing the hair down. If I start combing my hair back into place or whatever, it does have more of that weight from the hair oils building up on it. So if I want the fullness that I had in the morning from first blow drying it, I got to wash it again.
I get it, right? Because the washing it takes all the oils out, right?
In fact, the thing that gives me the volume is blow drying it the way that I do.
Really?
Well, same here.
That is fascinating, Joseph.
I know.
Mike, thanks for the call, man. Thanks for bringing the room down.
Hey,
I'm just kidding. Listen, man, I want to let you know I'm so thrilled that things have worked out for you, and I want you to just try to enjoy it, man. I know it's hard. I know it's hard because you're always worrying. You're always thinking the other shoe's going to drop, and you came from a place where you're very effed up, and then the roller coaster of emotions, waiting for the growth and having another surgery and all this stuff.
Right.
I mean, will things get worse eventually? They're going to get worse in every capacity of your life. So what's the point of worrying about it now? One day you're going to be calling some Jamaican woman mommy, okay? That's just the reality. So, So
I don't know what that means, but
that means he's going to be in a nursing home or have an aide helping him around the place. And that's
I'm hitting the gym. I'm just like you. I'm trying to get more exercise in now that
doesn't matter. At some point, something's going to break.
Mike, I'm going to tell you how I think about these things. Okay, so this is one really bald repair patient to another really bald guy. I forgot you're a repair patient.
No.
No. Okay.
Just two
All right.
regular surgeries.
So here's my perspective, being a repair patient and really bald at one point. I've had all this surgery. I've had all this hair moved, and it has absolutely been life-changing for a multitude of reasons. But as I get older, I am noticing some changes with my hair, just age-related or what have you. On the outside, it looks the same to everyone else around me, but I can detect changes. And are they permanent or temporary? I don't know. I think some of them are temporary because, like I said today, I realized, okay, I'm having a good hair day. It feels good. It looks good. I'm happy with it. Other days, I'm not. But even if I was to start losing some of the hair that's been transplanted, noticeably so, where other people started commenting on it, it still looks natural. Like I look like I'm naturally thinning, whereas 2 years ago there was maybe a bit more hair. This is just assuming this will happen, expecting the worst that can happen. I'm almost 60 years old.
No, you're not.
To quote Spencer.
You just turned 55.
Well, I'm hanging out with you, so I feel like I'm almost 60. No, but
you would actually feel like you're 35 if you hung out with me, brother.
In all reality, as a mid-50s aged gentleman, I'm fine with it. And I still have more hair at 55 than probably 90% of the people I went to high school with.
I see. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And
how old are you now, Mike?
How
old are you, Mike? I forget.
I'm 40.
Okay. So
I'm in that boat where it's nice. It's a little bit of a weird feeling, but like I see guys my age that are worse off, and it can't help but feel like, wow, I'm really fortunate.
You are fortunate, and if you could, I'm telling you, man, you enjoy it one day at a time. Use it. Leverage this moment in your life. This could last years.
I will.
It could last. It could last year. You could be like,
use it to your benefit. Okay. Use it to your benefit. Capture whoever you can, and 5 years from now, if you do lose it all, she's trapped. She can't go anywhere. All right. So now's the time.
He's not going to do the old fetters and shackles that you do, Joe. All right, Mike.
Look, enjoy it, okay? Because you've had some great work, especially by Dr. Ferrara, who I know him well. He does great work, and
but is he a politician now? Is that what's happening? Is that what I'm starting to learn?
No, I think he's trying to be, or he doesn't realize that he's becoming one, but the intentions are good.
And does he really appreciate us for who we are as human beings? Are you sure about that? Not just in the business. Not just smiley faces.
Did I say anything? Did I say anything about him appreciating us?
Okay, I'm just curious. Yeah.
No. I'm just saying. I was just asking. He's a good guy. Yeah. He does good work. Has nothing.
You
to do
mean
with
because
us.
he's not part of the organization? You mean? Yeah, I think the story is like he kind of just figures he's very like in a good place right now. Maybe is that what you were referring to? Like
I'm referring to his position in certain political positions in certain places.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. That's news to me, to be honest. Although
I'll just say this. Okay, I'm not bragging or anything, but if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be working on his own anyway.
That's true.
I'll just lay that one down.
Okay.
He and I had a nice beer about 8 years ago before he opened his clinic, and he's got his clinic now because of yours truly. He had a decision to make, and I helped him make it. I'll just say that.
Fun fact.
So he does appreciate me. Yeah, fun fact. Anyway.
Right. Well, anyway.
Look, the point being, you're in a good place. Enjoy it. Don't expect anything bad to happen, but if it does, it'll be a slow process, and you got more in the bank, and strategically placing stuff for the future. You're in a good place. You're set up for the future, and I don't think you really have anything to worry about. Just maintain the course, and you'll be fine.
I'm telling you, I'm on cloud 9 most days. It's really
there. You go.
It is amazing. Yeah.
All right, Mike. Listen, congratulations. It's great hearing from you, and keep us posted.
Thanks, guys. Have happy Thanksgiving.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
They're going to be like, do you want some pumpkin pie, Mike? He's going to be like looking at his hair, getting the pie.
I know, right? You want some pumpkin pie, you hairy beast, you?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I just hope that he can. I really hope that he can enjoy it.
Yeah, me too.
888-659-3727. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
This is Gypsy from LA. How are you guys?
Gypsy, what's happening,
brother? Nothing's happening. Everything's pretty good.
Okay.
Well, except a couple of things here and there. I heard the comment about Stallone. I was actually, funny enough, last night I was showing my sister-in-law his Hairline and what happened to him, and we were discussing a couple of other actors. I'm like, I've turned into this, Kobren.
Who does that on a Thursday night? You're sitting around talking about actors' hairlines with your sister?
My sister-in-law. Yeah, my sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law? Yeah.
We were talking about a different actor in a show that she likes. I'm like, the thing that kills me is like his juvenile hairdo. It's a pretty good show, but like they do this kind of like teenage garage rock band hairdo, and he's supposed to be a silver fox, gray hair, gray beard. good-looking guy. That's what she was saying, and I'm like, yeah, but that hairdo kills me. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he had some hair work done, and sure enough, I found a picture of him when he was receding, and I'm like, see? And then we went into Stallone. But anyways, fun fact, right?
Oh, you sound like a hater to me, brother.
I like to think that I'm I'm of the camp of the Kobren Tillman cult critique club.
I hear you, man. I don't.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like,
actually, there is a cult leader that's part of this industry, or was. He's an actual cult leader. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm surprised that there's only one.
Good point. Good point.
But I blame you guys because before I started listening to you guys and doing my research, I'm like, I could tell that something was off with some people, like the plugginess and this and that. But now it's just like from a mile away. I'm like, is that how I'm gonna look if I ever go through this procedure?
We've ruined you, brother.
Exactly. Yeah, you did. But in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
Two things, guys. So I'll go with my stuff first, and then I'll go, if there's enough time, into a commentary that I wanted just to mention to you guys, something that I saw.
Okay.
So I've been, as you know, or I don't know if you remember, I've been on the brand name pretty much since the beginning of the year.
Right.
And that's when I started taking also the oral minoxidil. So technically speaking, it's been about 11 months, or close to 11 months. But I don't know, it could be the age, or it could be, just me, kind of like what Joe was saying, it seems like I have good days and bad days. And I don't know if it's like shedding faces or this and that. It appears sometimes to me like I'm losing a little bit of the battle on the frontal third. Because, like I said, with enough topic, like my main issue is my crown. All right. Now I know the finasteride, at least at the beginning, before I actually got into the oral minoxidil, I was doing the topical. That's when I started seeing some reaction to the medication where it was looking a little shiny. Now it doesn't look shiny. It's like, vellus, not vellus, but like thin hairs. But you can still pretty much see the crown pretty well. And with enough, topic.
How many cigarettes a day do you smoke, brother?
Huh?
How many cigarettes a day do you smoke?
A pack a day.
I can hear it. That's why I asked.
Okay.
So I just want to tell you that you are, how old are you now?
48.
Okay. I can almost guarantee you that if you cut back on your smoking or quit, your meds are going to be working better for you, and you're going to lower your DHT right away, and you're going to have a better chance of really maintaining your hair, especially at this age. When you're younger, you can get away with a lot of shit.
Right.
But if you're smoking a pack a day now, brother, you got to. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of other reasons, and I'm not judging. I love smoking cigarettes. If I get super loaded, I'm going to bum a cigarette from somebody, but I don't smoke. Like I really stopped when I was 24 years old. But I know that feeling.
Keep in mind that getting loaded is 3 near beers, but not judging.
but I do enjoy. I still see it. I see it on television. I mean, I grew up with it. My parents are smokers. My mother died of it. I started at a young age, relatively young. But not heavy because I was an athlete. So it was just kind of like, after school or at lunch, whatever it was. And then I'd say from 18 till about 22 or 23, I smoked maybe 3/4 of a pack a day, something like that. And then I was like, I can't do this. But then I would go out drinking and have a couple here and there. And then as I got older, I was just like, I can't do that. And it was like a couple of year situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised I haven't run into you, like, in the Beverly Hills area, because I do go there once in a while. And I'm like, if I run into him, I'll be a bad influence. He'll see me outside smoking after a drink.
Well, not that you'd be a bad
Most
influence.
likely.
I'd be like, buy me a drink and give me. What do you smoke? American spirits?
I used to smoke Nat Shermans, but yeah, they're a little heavy,
Matt
as far as
Sherman's.
taste.
Holy, you're like an old school smoker, brother. The
Yeah,
brown ones or the colored ones?
No, the brown one.
Yeah.
Like the carbon paper one.
I don't
Yeah.
even pretend to know what those are, but
They
have fun with it.
in New York, and I think here in Los Angeles as well. Nat Sherman was like an old tobacco dude that sold these really unique, beautiful cigarettes in these beautiful boxes with different colors for women with gold filters. And there was a time when smoking was a thing. Like when I grew up, everyone smoked everywhere. And if someone was smoking Nat Shermans, they had they cost more, and there was a little bit of a class factor to it, believe it or not. Now anyone who smokes is an animal, but I'm just saying. Just kidding.
The ones you're describing, they look more like mini cigars.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's,
but I heard it. I hear it. And not like you're wheezing or anything, but I mean, there's a good chance that if you were able to cut that down or cut it out, that you would eventually respond better to meds and maybe see a big difference in your hair. It definitely affects hair growth.
Yeah. I would definitely, try that because honestly, honestly, I was thinking just adding or seeing a doctor. I actually have plans to go see Sean Bennett.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and to see if maybe to do to test right once a week, just within another adjunct.
Yeah.
But
ask him how he feels about smoking in hair. He'll sit you down. He may slap you around.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame him. I know it's a bad habit. I know it's a terrible habit.
Well, it's a terrible habit for a lot of reasons, but I'm just talking strictly for hair. That's my gig. That's what I'm talking. I'm not going to judge you about whatever. I mean, I get it, but for hair, it's one of the worst things you could do, especially as an older person.
Okay.
It really ages your hair rapidly.
I do feel it a little bit thinner. Like the sides are good. The sides of the back are I have a very, very generous and thick hair.
Good.
So and to be honest, I know every other call that I do with you guys is like, I'm holding back. That's the only reason that's one good positive that I have as far as like if I go ahead with a procedure that I know I have a good donor area.
Yeah.
But better than average, I would say, or at least that's some of the feedback that I've gotten back. So that's the only thing that I'm like, okay, well, at least I have that. But obviously, I'm not, drop the medication.
Well, that's not going to mean anything when you're connected to an iron lung, brother. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just kidding. No, I want you to listen. I want you to be well, and I want you to have every opportunity also to live a long life and to have the most robust hair you can.
And that's what it comes down to.
So
the best hair.
Of course. Yeah. In my defense, the smoking did save me from COVID. So, I know a lot of people are going to have different opinions, but
well, it may have, or you could have just. Now they're finding out that it's the actual nicotine, so you could have just been chewing some nicotine gum.
Oh, is that right? I didn't care that it was the actual nicotine. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
listen, brother, we're going to take another call. Is there anything else you wanted to ask?
Not ask. I had just a little side comment on something else. I don't know if you guys are aware of this new movement, and I'm not trying to get political or anything, but this
4B?
4B, yeah.
Sure.
I saw a video.
What is that? Hold on, what is that?
It's these women who I would say are on the fringe of the far left,
shaving their heads and never mind.
And it's really to me it's really painful.
Abstaining
it's really painful for the women who are dealing with androgenetic alopecia, alopecia areata, young kids. What about the children who are dealing with having to shave their head or lose their hair from cancer treatments? And these women from the 4B movement are claiming, well, they're going to uglify themselves. That's what at least I saw a couple of women say that by shaving their heads and no longer be attractive to women. What's interesting is I don't think I saw one woman who put out a video that was attractive with hair. So I don't think there's,
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
yeah. No,
the shaving may actually
like
improve for some of these girls. It may be an improvement, actually.
It's like an obese woman saying, I'm going to eat nothing but McDonald's for 6 months as protest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Nothing changes?
That's part of it. Yeah, that's part of it. I think that it's a protest. I mean, I'm not really... I'm not mentioning to comment on the political purpose of it, but
sure.
I did see a video of there's several women reacting to this harshly, actually, and among those was someone who says, "Look, I went through cancer, and you guys are, just making a mockery of this." Another one was like, I suffer from alopecia, from the condition, and
they don't give a shit. They don't care.
Yeah,
they should care.
There's been a lot of backlash from that.
Why don't they do something that's not quite as temporary? Why don't they do like a Tyson tattoo in their face or something? That's a statement.
Yeah. Well, according to them, is shaving the head is not only a protest symbol, but it's a way of getting, quote unquote, at least making a statement of getting rid of like the internalized patriarchy or
misogyny, and also,
shaving your head is not a protest. Putting yourself on fire is a protest.
Yeah,
that's a protest.
And here's the thing that really bothers me also, and they're claiming that this is going to help to identify them among the population, out there in the street. Mm-hmm. And there are women who are walking around with shaved heads because they have to. They have no choice.
Yeah.
So,
in fact. There are far more women with shaved heads because they have to than there are shaved women that have shaved heads as a political statement.
Yeah, so
that's how
actually why from the Women's Hair Loss Project put out a really eloquent and I thought powerful video, non-political, of course, to discuss this. Like, so what is she now? She has to go outside now with her hair on, otherwise she's going to be lumped into this situation.
She's going to be labeled. Yeah. Yeah, not only is she going to be labeled, but it's a disrespect to her, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And someone made a very interesting point. It says it wasn't too long ago that we were criticizing Britney Spears for doing that, and we were calling her, unhinged.
Yeah.
And and now it's not a mental thing. It's an empowering statement. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention.
Look, whatever side of the political spectrum as someone is on, that particular situation I would consider to be tied into some degree of mental illness. It has nothing to do with whether you are a Republican or a Democrat or maybe a little further left than center. There's a lot of very disappointed people in this world who, maybe they're going to talk with their wallets, or they're going to work harder for, their local Democratic Party or whatever they need to do to affect change. None of this stuff is going to affect any change, and frankly, it kind of, I think it kind of turns people in the other direction. They're like, Jesus, these people are lunatics.
Well, it's no different than
sure.
It's no different than when a little child, has a tantrum and they start pulling their hair off. That's exactly what they're doing. The other funny comment that I heard is like, oh, okay, so now you're going to become celibate and reserved and more traditional. But haven't we been pushing that for decades? How is this going to affect us?
Yeah. I also think a lot of it is just based on a lot of sad misinformation that was being perpetuated by a lot of the media. And, there are people that are truly scared because they've been fear-mongered. In a way, you have to get it.
Yeah.
I can't blame somebody. And a lot of these people are extremely fragile in the real world. it's just the way that it is. It's whatever happened to them in their lives. This is who they've become. So
Yeah,
I
no,
kind of
I
walk
mean,
on the side of
the
empathy
reason-
for these people, but I also feel really badly for those who have to walk around with either a shaved head or they're losing their hair from chemosuppressant, chemotherapy, antigen effluvium, where they've had to shave it to avoid that. And they're being likened to being unattractive because that's what these people are saying. They're going to ugly themselves up. There's a lot different ways to ugly yourself up than shave your head. And as a matter of fact, you see a lot of hot balding women or, like alopecians and women with androgenetic alopecia who've decided to shave their head, and all of a sudden they're like smoke shows with a shaved head.
No, I've run into those women too. I used to know this figure model who she might have had like alopecia areata because it looked like it was a condition.
Right.
But she was tall, slender, gorgeous. It had nothing.
Look, I don't know if why from Women's Hair Loss Project is listening, but I mean, she's a smoke show. She goes on camera with a shaved head, and it's like, holy shit, like perfect face, dimensions to her shape and jawline and all that stuff. So
I agree.
I find it fascinating that that's the way they're putting it out there for people, especially for the children who are walking around. They're trying to go to school and they have no hair, and now they're asking their mothers, "Am I really ugly, Mom?"
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm with you. And I say to some of my friends, I say the older I get, the more understanding I get, but the less toleration I have. Meaning that, yeah, I may understand the reasons, but I'm not going to deal with the bullshit, So I do understand, like you said, the reasons. There may be some legitimate concern, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
But the actions, I just think that they're ill-conceived and executed,
Well, I would say that the people who are involved in this movement are probably some of the least tolerant people on that side of the political spectrum. That's just the reality of it.
I would.
And I have a lot of friends who are on both sides of the aisle, especially living here in Los Angeles, probably more on the left than anything else. And these are normal, respectable, successful, critical thinking people. And they're just like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Someone said, look, if you wanted to make even a little bit more of a statement with the same action, you could have all just said, you know what, we're going to shave our heads in protest, but we're going to donate all the hair to Locks of Love.
Sure. Now, sadly, Locks of Love would probably throw it out, and just take the write-off. But, yeah, I mean, they could have done something, at least made that overture to try to help people. So, all right, brother, listen, good call as usual. I appreciate it. And look, if we run into me in Beverly Hills, just make believe you didn't see me, all right? I'm kidding.
Of course.
All right,
of
brother.
Course. Of course.
All right. Take care, brother. Good luck.
All right.
Okay.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Can I put you back on camera, Joe? 888-659-3727 is a toll-free number. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Adrian from Melbourne.
Adrian, what's happening, brother?
Hey, man, I've just been listening to the previous caller you just had then, and if you want to protest, shave someone else's head. Fuck it. Why shave your own? It makes no sense. No fucking sense.
Dude, don't sit. There's going to be some lunatic women running around with buzzers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Clippers.
What a fucking stupid idea. Anyway, and I used to smoke too. He was talking about smoking, which I'm opposed to now. There's nothing wrong with my lung, mind you, but still, I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're
just because you quit last week doesn't mean you used to smoke.
I'm not even opposed to it. I still have pangs. I tell you, like if it's a real occasion where I'm drinking like bourbon and there's people outside having cigarettes, I'll be like, let me have one of those. It's rare, but it's still on my mind. I still, I just know that's something you cannot do. You just can't do it. You can't be an adult and smoke cigarettes on a regular basis.
No, and I put it up on my Facebook post. Last month was 10 years since I quit.
That's amazing.
I've still got the pack.
Nice.
I've got the state. And, I feel there's no way I'm going back. And tonight's our Christmas work party, and where I'm calling from work now, I should add too. And I'll probably be on my phone at the party as well tonight, just to shit them. But yeah, no, I feel heaps better, and I don't even think about smoking. But look, I saw Dr. Bevan Boyrell during the week.
Oh yeah,
I was going to get
How'd
back to
that
you
go?
about what happened. Yeah, good, Joe. Look, it was interesting. We took a pic. We do every time. And the density now compared to 1 year ago has actually improved, which I was quite happy about.
That's great.
And I don't know whether it's the nearly 4 months of saw palmetto I've been on religiously that I've added, or whether it was just antigen desynchronization, but the hair has bounced back. For whatever reason, the hair's bounced back.
That's wonderful, man.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
So I'm happy
Glad to
about
hear
that. Yeah, he's written a script for 0.01% topical dutasteride. So I'd rather a pill, but I think I'm going to do it and just see how that goes.
Look, I mean, you had issues taking other oral meds, right? So, I mean, this may do the trick for you.
Yeah, look, I'm in a good state in terms of whatever it is that's caused my hair to be as it is today. I think I have to accept there's going to be periods in my life where it's not going to look so great by the nature of this antigen cycle and with the use of beard grass. So that's okay. That's all good. So, yeah, I'll try that. Otherwise, look, just want to a big shout out to Graham. I know he's in the chat. I never do. So, hey, Graham. And, yeah, life's good, guys. There's not much else to add. I just wanted to say hi and I love you. You know that anyway from last week. But, yeah.
Love you too, brother. Good. No homo. And I appreciate the call.
Don't go full homo.
Full homo.
Full homo.
Don't go full homo. No.
Jesus Christ.
I've got a friend who tried it once. Didn't go too well. No, just go halfway.
Listen, brother, you never know in life, right? I mean, sometimes you got to give something a shot.
Yeah,
right, Joe?
well,
I still got those pictures, Joe, from Calabasas.
No homo part? Wait, what are we talking about here? Wait, what kind of show is this?
I mean, you think Diddy's situation is interesting. That was some night.
It was the Kobren freak-offs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tonight will be fairly tame compared to that, I'd imagine. But no,
I
all
gotta
good in
ask
the
you
world.
something. Is it normal in Australia to have Christmas parties a full month before Christmas?
Well, it comes down to the booking, Joe, because once you hit the beginning of December, everything's booked for these sort of things.
So someone in your company fucked up. They didn't book it until too late. That's what you're saying.
Correct. Exactly.
Was that you?
Exactly.
Was that you, Adrian? Did you?
No.
Are you the one that's supposed to schedule the party? No. Okay.
I don't have that allegiance to my employer, as you probably. Yeah, I'd rather be fine.
Yeah, you're
following you guys.
Yeah, you're just there for the job, not to participate. I get it. I get it.
And I always said I'd never get paid in this hair related industry, yet I'm getting paid now. So it's never say never. But
never
yeah,
say never.
Everything's good. Thank you guys as always for
all
all the
brother.
help you do.
Enjoy your Christmas party.
Yeah, I will. You'll. If you get a weird call next weekend, it's because I went a bit too far. But
well, my hope is that you gave Joe all of your emergency info.
Well, I missed that bit. Sorry, Spence?
I hope that you gave Joe your emergency info in case something happens. You can call the cops or your
emergency contact stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. There'll be no death threats or calling people liars. No, I won't be that.
Yeah, like when I walk into like the bar around here, I hand them a card that has all my emergency info on it, just in case. Contacts. All right, brother.
Yeah, blood type, exactly.
Yeah, take it easy.
I have a tattoo to my lower arm.
Later.
All right, we'll see you.
Yeah. Oh, well, not that kind of party. But anyway.
Take it easy, brother.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
All right, cheers.
Jesus, these Brits and these Aussies, man, they get them off the phone. It's like, okay, bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. Do you ever notice that the Brits say goodbye 1,000 times before they hang up?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, you got to get used to that.
It's interesting. Sure. It's like, bye-bye, bye-bye, okay, bye, bye-bye, 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 bye.
Saying you have to go is just preparation for the wind down. Yeah.
It's amazing.
God bless him.
Not even him. The Australians aren't the same, but the Brits are really, it's like, bye-bye, 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 okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Like,
okay.
Can't you just say goodbye and hang up the phone?
Okay, take care. Take care now. Cheers. Bye-bye.
I mean, that's why we won the war.
Now. Right.
Jesus.
That's good. God bless him.
We have time for one more phone call, people. If you want to call in.
Hang on. Did I catch? Wait, Adrian said he swore he'd never work in the hair industry or get paid in the hair industry, but things change. Is he
I just laughed like I may believe I knew what he was talking about.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to think about it. Is he working somewhere?
I don't know. Who's he going to be working
for someone? I don't know. Pradeep?
Listen, just check out his social media. If he's holding that damn book, then we know what's happening.
Then he's on the payroll.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Spencer. It's Vitaly from Oregon. I had a quick question regarding minoxidil, like high percentage, like 8%. What's your 2 cents on
I'm just going to
that?
get off the line here because no one says hi to me anymore. I'm just sitting here like...
Oh, hi, Joe.
The partner. No. Too late, man. No. You did it. You fell in just right with the rest of them. Hi, Spencer. No, hi, Joe.
Yeah, Vitaly, you want me to pot him down?
This is my YouTube channel.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, go ahead, Vitaly. Go ahead. Like, hey, Spencer's Vitaly. So anyway,
straight to the point, without saying hi. So I've been thinning for the past 2-3 years. So I hopped on the Tasheride, and now I wanted to experiment with minoxidil. I've been taking the Tasheride, which it looks like it improved. But what do you think about taking minoxidil?
Well, I mean, when you say it's improved, do you notice that is there a cessation of overall hair loss, like less shedding? Do you notice more an overall fullness in the back, sides, and top? Any regrowth? What's it like now?
Well, I always had a full head of hair. It's just the reason I've been taking it is mostly my dad and both sides of my family, and in general, there's hair loss. So I'm most likely prone to hair loss as well, and I kind of want to prevent going bald because I still have a lot of hair. It just I noticed it was thinning. 33.
Okay. Well, if you notice it was thinning is balding. That's what it is. Now, some people bald very slowly, so they thin, their hair looks thinner, and it could take decades before they see an actual pattern or a bald spot. But that's the balding process. So it wasn't a bad idea if you get on medication, and I'm sure you spoke to a doctor about it, but to get on medication in the early stages.
I did blood work and it looked into my hormones and I also on top of taking because I do produce too much testosterone. That's what the doctor said. That he also put me on 0.1% anandrozole or something like that. It's for estrogen because what happens is he said that by blocking DHT, your androgens are still being made. And so it's going to convert your estrogen.
So that basically this is an aromatase inhibitor.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it looks like it improved quite a bit, but, on the temples, around the temples, there's a lot of hair that's just, colorless, It's just,
So do not, my advice is to not F with it because if you start using topical minoxidil, there's a very strong chance you're going to go through a shed. And I see all these kids who are doing this prematurely. You see it online. They're trying to save their hairline. Now, what you did was probably smarter, and that you had the ability. You saw a doctor. You got your blood work done. He saw what was happening with your endocrine system and how you were producing too much testosterone, whatever it is. But you hit it at the hormonal base. Your foundation of your treatment is working on the hormones. Once you start using a topical agent like minoxidil, something that's going to push your hair into an anagen phase, or initially it could be a telogen phase, you're kind of on a roller coaster, man. If you're not shedding anything now, if you're just losing a normal amount of hair every day, and you still have a full head of hair and you're just trying to get things perfect, my advice is that could be a bad move.
Okay, so it's not always.
Yeah, so let's just go to Joe, make believe you're interested in what he has to say, and see what he has to say. Joe?
Well, he was interested in saying hi, so I haven't been paying attention. No, I'm just kidding. Just giving me some shit. No, you said something that was key, and that's the hair in the temple regions. It's colorless. That to me is an indicator that if you try anything on that and you go through a shed on that area, that's not coming back.
Yeah,
because there is a point of no return when hair goes exits anagen into catagen and into telogen, where it's just so weak it's not going to come back. Or if it does, it'll be you won't really be able to see it, because it's not just colorless, but it's also shorter, finer, and just a smaller hair overall. So what Spencer said is absolutely correct. Don't F with it, man. Like it's at a point where it could go either way, and if it goes one way, it may not bounce back to the other way.
Yeah,
it may not bounce back from it.
And if you were able to keep your hair exactly the way that it is for another 10 years, would you be happy?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Yeah,
that's it. You're on your way. You're on your way to that being a reality.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Another question regarding because I know you mentioned about dermal roller. What about fine lines in your scalp, not in your scalp, but like forehead, wrinkles? Is that still going to cause scarring?
I can't speak to this. I can, because many years ago, there was a physician who gave me a derma roller. I think I showed it here, and he was very interested in skin rejuvenation, hair rejuvenation, all that stuff. And I used it for a while on my skin with this serum, this vitamin C serum that he gave me. I just kind of wanted to see if it made any difference. I definitely saw a slight improvement over a relatively short period of time, but then I started to kind of feel this doesn't seem right. Like I was concerned about possible long-term damage. I only did it for like maybe a month and a half. And then I started to read some stuff in like physician chat rooms, and not physician chat rooms, but they're chat rooms that we were privy to. And I just don't know what the long-term effects are going to be, So, and I don't have fine lines. I have some deep lines. I mean, you may not be able to see it on camera, but to me, it's kind of like we're men, brother. And why screw with it, if you don't have to?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could try it, and you can talk. I mean, most dermatologists are going to tell you, they'll sell you a dermapen, and they'll tell you to use this, and it may, it'll definitely lay down new collagen. The problem is how much collagen can your body actually produce when it's being, what's the word I'm looking for? Not prematurely produced, but artificially produced. We don't know that. And we don't know if all of a sudden that you're going to have collagen breakdown, that's going to be more significant in your 40s and 50s because you're continuing to do this process when you're young. We just don't know what the long-term effects are.
So in the long run, it actually could worsen your wrinkles or whatever. Because, I mean, I'm still 33, but I'm kind of like, man, I don't want to. I started seeing wrinkles in my forehead developing. Like, I don't want to use it because I don't think it's going to do any good to use a derma stamp or a roller for my hair around the temples, because I feel like that's going to just cause fibrosis or something like the skin scarring. So like I'm not using it for that, but I've read like in regards to like anti-aging stuff, like to make your skin look less wrinkly, or like a lot of people do that, and also
it'll definitely cause an initial plumping of your skin. I definitely think you're going to lay down some more collagen, more rapidly. It could also help to exfoliate your skin to some degree, and they'll tell you to use all types of vitamin C serum and hyaluronic acid serums, and which will bring water to the area and give you a little bit of plumpness. We just don't know what the long-term effects are, and it's really temporary. You can kind of get that plumpness from those serums without abrading your skin, if you wanted to do that.
Dude, you're 33. Stop worrying about wrinkles. You're a dude. 33 years old, you're
right?
Good. Own it.
That's like
okay?
the least of the worries. I mean,
just own it, man.
Overall, huh?
You're just aging a little bit. It's fine. It's normal. Don't
Yeah,
jump down that.
I've taken a lot of sun in my life, and for some reason, things have held up pretty well, collagen-wise, I guess. But I have wrinkles, and it's like I tell Jill, if I shave, I'm like an old baby. So but it's never been anything where I wasn't able to, I mean, we're men. I'm not saying man up, but we're men. Wrinkles aren't a big deal. Maybe in the younger generation now, it seems to be a bigger deal for guys. I think keeping your skin kind of even-toned if you can, which really is mostly internally.
And there's nothing wrong with skincare, but when you start, trying to artificially influence,
collagen production.
That's you're 33, man. Like once you start doing that, you will never feel comfortable if you're not doing it over and over and over again. And by the time you're our age, you'll look like Catwoman. Like it just, it's not a good thing to be emotionally addicted to, because that's essentially what happens. And I speak from experience because when I was still a repair patient, not having had my repair surgeries, I got addicted to the to fibers. Actually, it was before fibers. It was the spray paint, GLH, good looking hair in a can. I was addicted to that shit. I was spraying that in my hair every day to thicken it up, and I couldn't stop.
I don't know if I should be offended at this point, Joe, as you continue this
even when I
conversation.
realized that the color was wrong because of a photo I saw myself in, I looked like a skunk. And I still kept using it. I could not stop. Until finally one day, like eventually I did stop doing it. It was just like, I can't, I'm done. But for years.
Well, it was when your mom called the priest for the intervention, and she's like, look, something's got to happen with this kid because he looks like a nut.
It like I said, it took something, I did eventually stop. I didn't say how. But it's something. You're 33 years old. You got so much more time to deal with this.
And and here's the thing. You're going to see all this stuff online, and there's a lot of interventions that are being sold in dermatologist's office. And, medicine is just so effed up now. Every dermatologist now...
But that's all for money making. Like, it doesn't really most of it doesn't do nothing. It's just for, just making money, putting money into their pocket.
Yeah. I would say they are money grabs, but here's the reality. All of these so-called non-invasive treatments, a good percentage of them will actually hasten the aging process. So you're talking about these, not radio waves, not ultrasound. Jesus, Joe, man, what's happening to my brain? Anyway, they have these in office.
This is what happens.
Yeah, they have these in office like derma stamps, and they use like radio frequency derma stamping, and all of these, like this Morpheus 8 product, and all these heat products that are supposed to tighten your skin.
I've seen like laser, like a red light laser stuff too, in like dermatology offices.
Well, some stuff, listen. Erbium YAG lasers and CO2 lasers and all that stuff, they work. They could you can actually remove cancers with those things. But and you could completely change a person's skin characteristics. Really, these are ablative or semi-ablative, quasi-ablative lasers, and they can definitely work. But all the other stuff, these radio frequency things, in the end, they're starting to find out that, you know what, we're damaging people's faces. We're making women, especially, look older than they would have if they didn't do this stuff. Imagine when you're trying to heat up the fascia and you have to go through your fat in order to heat up the fascia with these devices. What's going to happen? You're going to melt people's fat on their faces. They're going to look older. That's what happens. They're effing people up. And now we're finding out, which I talked about 15 years ago, the damage of fillers. It's insane. This stuff never leaves your body. It's in there, and it's collecting water. And people say that, you can dissolve it to some degree, but you can never get it all out of your face.
Oh, yeah. I've seen actually the scans they do in regards to fillers and how it goes. They started finding it in your, brain pretty much. It goes into your brain or something like that, they were saying.
I don't know if it passes the blood-brain barrier, if it can get into your brain. I don't know. I mean, I don't see why it couldn't actually, but depending on where it's placed. But I guess it could. But the point is, someone thinks they got 10 units, and there's enough filler in their body where it looks like they may have 30 or 40 units put in there just because this stuff attracts water and it slowly expands. And they may think the effects are kind of diminishing over time. And they're like, yeah, well, the filler dissolved and you essentially went through your lymphatic system. It's gone, whatever. That's not true. So they're just putting filler over filler. And you see these women walking around like they have concrete in their faces. I live in an area where every woman looks pretty bizarre. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
They're just trying to, stay young, and they're being sold these bill of goods by these med spas and these board-certified plastic surgeons who hire injectors in the back of their offices. And so trust me, brother, anything that sounds too good to be true is too good to be true. And as far as the derma rolling, I don't think you're going to cause yourself any damage if you want to do it occasionally, once a month. Get put some serums in there that may, bring some growth factors to the area and help you lay down some more collagen faster. Maybe a faster turnaround. You may see some temporary plumping of the area. I mean, but just don't do it. Don't do it consistently. Don't be one of these everyday people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Same thing it goes for my scalp, since I have pretty much a full head of hair, to avoid doing any of that because that's going to cause damage, right?
Don't do
in
anything.
The long run.
You are taking the strongest drug that we have in our arsenal, and you're doing well with it.
Yeah. No, I've been it's going to be almost 2.5 years and I don't have any side effects, so I'm like, it should be good. I did the blood work afterwards and it looks like the numbers and everything looks good. So, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick with this. But then again, this past, fall or so, well, I guess we're still in fall turn. I kind of experienced a little bit more shedding than usual, which I was like, that's kind of strange, but because I usually have a normal amount of shedding, but this year it was a bit more than normal. So that's why I kind of wanted to hop on minoxidil. But then again, I'm kind of skeptical whether or not it's going to actually do any good for me. Maybe even
it could actually do more harm than good. And you just stick with what you're on. You could always talk to your doctor about, I mean, you probably don't want to up your dosage. But
I've heard good things about that, people using latanoprost instead of minoxidil. Is that something that's worth looking into, or that's just wasting time?
No. Don't get off of Reddit, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do read a lot of that.
Yeah. Just get off of Reddit. You're already on the most powerful drug that we have in our arsenal. And you're doing well. So stick with it. If you go through some sheds, some of that could be synchronized because of being on the medication itself. And that could take, 2 or 3 hair cycles. Well, usually not 2 or 3, at least a hair cycle to kind of get back to where you're not shedding as much, when you go through your sheds. I would say if you're better off than you were. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was shedding, and so what I did is I just buzzed it all off to see how much hair I still have. And I'm like, dude, I still have a full head of hair no matter what. even though I've experienced such a huge shed over a month, that it was like, I mean, at one point I was like, dude, this is depressing. And so I just buzzed it all off.
Well, it's good. It's good if you can deal with a buzz cut for a while. You're not going to notice the shedding. So when you're going through a shed, you're better off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother. Listen, we got to wrap this up.
Okay. Well, thank you guys.
All right. Well, good luck, and thank you for the call. And I hope that you take our advice. Do not, if it ain't broke, don't F with it.
Don't. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay,
Leave well enough alone.
All right, brother. Take care.
Will do. All right. Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye. Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right, everyone on the line, we got to go. Sorry. It's time to shut down these cameras and these microphones and call it a night.
Have a steak and a drink.
Have a steak,
and a scotch.
That doesn't sound so terrible, actually.
It really doesn't, does it?
No.
I'm a little still under the weather. I can't do that. Can't do the beverage thing, but I can still do a steak.
Well, I could do the beverage thing. I have to get my card out. I have to find one of my cards with my emergency contact info.
I was going to say with your emergency contact info. Because when Spencer goes out for cocktails, he's going out for cocktails.
Yeah. I got to tell you, though, if there's a woman bartender and you give her that card, you got her.
You got her, yeah.
She loves it. All right, brother. Guys, I want to say thank you for hanging out and tuning in. It's always fun. I enjoy the Friday show. If you have any need to watch more hair loss content, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Spencer Kobren. Follow Joe Tillman Official on Instagram. And if anyone's watching us through the Bald Truth, whatever it is, don't forget to subscribe to Joe Tillman's hair transplant channel. That's youtube.com/hair transplant mentor. I know it doesn't fit hair transplant channel, but that's what it originally was. Hair transplant mentor. And subscribe, ring that bell. And if you're watching the show right now, like the program so that maybe you get some more views and more people can actually get the truth. Until next time, be strong, God bless, and thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the program, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you.